Hey ladies and gentlemen, Wolf Crier here. So with Season 9 just around the corner, I figured I'd share a little bit of leveling tips, some gearing up tips, and some tips for increasing your Paragon early in the upcoming season. So we're going to dive right into leveling. Number 1, grouping is the best way to level in this game, especially when you're starting off at level 1. The experience bonus that you get from party members is immense, and you want to make sure that you're trying to get into a 4-man group as much as possible. If you are in a 4-man group, you want to be running Nefs. It's going to give you the most bang for your buck because during your Nephilim runs, you are also going to be finding pools, and it's not going to slow you down. You're not going to have to go find pools somewhere else and then go back to another area. They're going to be right in the Nefs. And as long as you have a 4-man group that is capable of clearing fast, you want to be probably pushing on either hard or expert, depending on your gear and how fast you guys are clearing. If you guys get a bunch of legendaries in the beginning and you can bump it up to master and still do it efficiently and quickly, then go for it. But odds are you want to stay around the hard or expert area. Now, gems. Red gems are the only thing that matters when you are going from 1 to 70. Red gems in your weapons, red gems in your helms. The helms, your red gem is going to give you more experience, which is great. And in your weapons, they're going to give you more damage. Critical hit damage does nothing for you at low level. You don't crit often. So you want that extra damage. That's going to give you more damage overall with the red gem compared to a green gem. So rubies are king while leveling. Now, if you are grouping, like I said, you want to be running Nefs, but you still want to be picking up everything you can, salvaging it, because every time you go back to town, you should be crafting whatever the highest level weapon that you can use is. Because your weapon is the only thing that you really need to be crafting consistently throughout your time leveling, because your weapon increases your damage the most, and then get right back in. You want to limit your downtime while you are leveling, that initial burst, because you can reach 1 to 70 in about 4.5 to 5 hours in a group, as long as you guys keep updating your weapons. The rest of the stuff, pretty much get off drops at level 11 or so. You want to grab rings from the jewelry vendor in Tristram, especially rings with plus damage. Now that's another thing. For your stats on all your gear, your main stat, whether it be dex, strength, int, you want that, and you want plus XP and plus to damage. Attack speed, crit chance, crit damage, all that stuff is very minimal when it comes to increasing your damage. So plus damage and your main stat are actually going to increase your damage more than those 3 things. If you are solo, I do suggest staying in adventure mode and going to either Halls of Agony level 2, or my favorite is actually Festering Woods. And the idea with soloing in these 2 places, in adventure mode, you can get massacre bonuses, which increases your experience gain tremendously. You cannot get a massacre bonus in a normal Nephilim Rift or even a greater Rift. So massacre bonuses definitely increase your XP per hour. As long as you can get large chunks of mobs that you can get like 50 to 100 in a massacre, that's going to level you faster than a Nephilim Rift by yourself. So keep that in mind. If you are stuck soloing, you want to go in areas where it's very dense with tons of mobs that you can continue to kill and just get a massive amount of massacre bonuses, because that's going to give you a ton of XP. Now another thing to consider is when you turn 23, consider doing the bounties for Act 1. By doing these after level 23, you have a chance to get the recipe for Cain's set, which is going to give you a bonus to your experience gained while you are playing. So that's actually a really good thing too. Cain's set's really good. Couple of gear pieces you want to look out for: Leoric's Signet and Leoric's Helm. Leoric's Helm will double whatever your ruby is in your helm, so you'll gain even more experience. So those are some items you want to keep an eye out for. If you can get Kane's pieces and complete that set, Leoric's Helm and Leoric's Signet, those are going to help you level massively. Now, that's leveling 1 to 70, guys. Those are some decent tips. If you want to take them and use them, I hope it helps you out a lot. Let's move on to gearing up once you are level 70. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your Hadrig's Gift. You want to complete the season journey parts that get you the Hadrig's Gift as fast as possible. If you're still in the group, even better, because then you guys can just go knock out the bosses, complete every other piece, and then for the final one you'll have to do your GR20 solo, but by that time you should have enough power to do so. Now, another thing you want to do when you're trying to gear up to push your torments higher and higher is don't be afraid to use Kanai's Cube once you get it. You should try to get that while you are leveling as well. If not, get that directly after turning 70. So one of the things that you will use Kanai's Cube for is converting set items. So if your Hadrig's Gift did not give you the set pieces that you want for the build that you want to be running, you can convert set items. So if you get 2 pieces of Uliana's gloves, and Uliana's is the set you want, but you only have 2 Uliana's gloves, you can re-roll one of them to try to get a different piece using 10 DBs and 10 souls. Now the thing with that is those pieces can never be ancient when you create them using this method. Another thing you want to do is craft. Let's say you're running this Uliana's EP build, but you cannot get your Lion's Claw. So you want to craft rare fist items and then use the upgrade rare item to try to create that Lion's Claw for yourself. So those things are very handy early in the game. They do take a lot of mats, so make sure that throughout your leveling process, throughout your key farming process, throughout everything, you want to be picking up stuff, salvaging it as much as possible. Another thing is make sure you're gearing up using your blood shards, obviously. Don't be afraid to run higher GRs if you're capable. Don't waste time, but as soon as you're capable to run higher GRs, definitely run those to have a bigger blood shard wallet, because that comes in very handy to limit your time in town and keep you moving forward in your Paragon levels once you are level 70. GRs and Nefs are also very good ways to gear yourself and continue your leveling once you are 70, because you want to get that Paragon level up, because that increases your damage as you go. So those are several ways that you can gear yourself while you're starting to push higher and higher into the torments. Try to get yourself Torment 6, Torment 7, as high as you can, as fast as you can, but as efficient as you can. Don't waste time doing a 20-minute T13 with multiple deaths, because you are just wasting time. Now, on to your Paragon points and how to level those really efficiently. 4-man groups, number 1. That is important. Number 2, you want to be using pools. So you want to go get your pools from wherever you can and then run your GRs together. What you want to be running is 6 to 8 minute GRs when you are leveling as a 4-man. So whatever that sweet spot is, whether it be a 65, a 45, an 85, once you have it down to where it's 6 to 8 minutes, that's where you should be pushing. You should be pushing there until you can do the same thing to a higher GR. And that's when you switch. Don't waste time doing 12-minute GRs, because that's going to actually slow down your Paragon leveling. Even if you think, oh, but I can do 10 levels higher in the Paragon leveling, but if it's taking you double the time, it's not worth the XP. All right, so then once you get into that part, you want to be looking at re-rolling your gear. So you want to reforge your legendary. So this is where 4-man pub bounties, or if you have a group, You want to be 4-man split pushing bounties on the highest torment you possibly can, as quickly and efficiently as you can, because you want to be using this to reforge your legendaries. This is how you get your ancient gear most of the time, especially weapons. Always use this on weapons first, because these take a lot of mats, and even though you can split push bounties really quick, the Forgotten Souls are the hard part, not so much the mats. The mats come easy once you get a split pushing group down, or even in pubs once you get to T10, T11, that area. So like I said, XP bowls, 6 to 8 minute GRs, and use your cube to re-roll for your ancients, increase your damage. Once you do have your weapons, feel free to re-roll your other items. I suggest jewelry next, and then your armor, because the rest of it will start to fall into place once you're running GRs. You will get drops. Now, throughout this time, don't forget to keep upping your solo GR without wasting time. But you want to up your solo GR so that you can hold more blood shards, so that you don't have to waste time in town after every 1 to 3 GRs. You want to be buying as quick as you can and then getting right back to GRs when you're pushing Paragon. Because at the beginning of the season, this is where the bursts usually happen. People have their groups down, they push efficiently, they push non-stop. Don't waste time in town while you're leveling. Don't waste time in town while you're leveling your Paragon. The only time you should be in town is when you are salvaging stuff at the completion of a rift, or if you are crafting gear or re-rolling gear. So other than that, there you go, guys. Hopefully everybody does really well in Season 9. I will be pushing myself. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance. I get to see what my schedule is like, but hopefully come Friday after next, I will be pushing here. I'll probably be streaming as well, and hopefully we can all get to 70 really quick and start pushing our Paragons and start pushing ourselves onto that leaderboard. Guys, if you found these tips at least a little bit helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video and what you plan on running for Season 9. Thank you guys very much. You guys have a great night. Peace. I like my shirt.